Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, and today we finally are trying to go towards the Ramayana. And as who is narrating right now? Yagnavalchi is narrating to Bharadwaji, and he says, मैं जाना तुम्हार गुणशीला, कहूँ सुनो अब रघुपति लीला, सुनु मुनि आजु समागम तोरे, कहीं ना जाए जस sukh man more. Now he's saying कि finally, after so long, I am going to start narrating the Leelas of Sri Ramji. Why is it Leela? It's a drama, isn't it? Everything is a drama. Even our life is nothing but a Leela. Ramji knew his life was a Leela. We do not. That is the only difference. And Yagnavalkya is so happy because he got a Patra. Bharadwaj Rishi was a Supatra. There are two things. There is a Supatra and a Kupatra. Patra is, normally if we say patras are dishes, right, in which we eat. So when we eat also, sorry, I've put the laptop towards this side because I want to read a lot today. At least I'll try to. So when we eat also, the vessel in which we are eating could be a Supatra and a Kupatra. And the most relevant and the most nice and the most, they say gold, a plate of gold is considered to be a Supatra. But then gold is there, right? Then there is this leaf in which we make those donas and the pattals. That is supposed to be the most pure form, or the banana leaves. Those are supposed to be the most pure form of dishes on which we can eat. So we are also patras. Arjun ko hamesha patra bola jata hai na. Shri Krishna calls him the patra. So we are also patras. So are we a supatra or a kupatra? We have to assess it for ourselves. And is it that a kupatra cannot listen to the katha? No. It is a journey. But the purer we get, the clearer things will get to us. When we go to the Rishikesh ashrams in Rishikesh and we look at the Ganga, during the rainy season, it is all full of mud, isn't it? Can we see the base at that time? No. But when we go during the winters, it is calm. The rain has subsided. The water is still. You can even bathe in the Ganga. And if you drop a coin, you can see through. Is the Ganga different? No. The mud is there, but it has settled. Now when we talk about Ma Parvati, she is also doing a Leela. Not that she was a Kupatra before and now she has become a Supatra. No. But everything is settled in. The calmness is there, the quiet is there, the sthirtha is there. And now she is willing to listen to the Ram Katha, not to question, but to know more. She is curious, not to criticize, but to learn. And many a times we say, right, there is no end to the Ram Katha. Is it possible to capture Sri Ramji in these stories? No. But what we can do is, all these scriptures are indicating towards something. They don't claim, as we'll see in our script books and as we go on today, they don't claim to know. They don't claim to define. No. They're just indicating, and each one can go ahead and find what suits them. So it is just an indication. So over here he says, I'm so happy to have found you. And with this I am going to enter the Leela of Sri Ramji. But he says that what I am going to narrate, just imagine Yagnavalkya is going to say what I am going to narrate is but what I have heard. You know? We say experience, but now he's saying Shruti. What is he saying? Whatever I've heard, I'm going to tell you. And whatever is going to come out of this mouth is going to be the words which are set by Ma Saraswati, and they are going to dance out. So he is not claiming to any of the knowledge he is giving. How does it happen? Now, the story has been playing in my mind. I don't know how relevant it is or not, but it has come to my mind, so I'll share it. Does the Lord control us or we control the Lord? Over here he says, Tadapi जता श्रुति कहूँ बखानी सुमिरी गिरापति प्रभु धनु पानी सारद दारु नारी सम Swami Ram Sutradhar Antarjami. He is the puppeteer and he is going to control all the words that are going to come out of my mouth. And that is what he is saying. But is he the puppeteer? When Ramji had come back from Vanvas, all his brothers, his wife, everybody wanted to serve him. And along with there was Hanumanji. So Hanumanji would take all the seva, right? And they gathered and they talked and they said that Hanumanji is not letting us do anything. He is taking on all the seva. So what should we do now? So they decided that we'll divide everything amongst ourselves and we'll keep Hanumanji aside and let him rest. So Ma Sita went and said that you've been working too hard ever since we came back. So we have decided that now we'll divide all the work that you're doing and we are going to serve Ramji and you sit and relax. So he says, no, that is not possible. I need to do something. You cannot take away all my seva. So then suddenly Bharatji said, okay, when Ramji yawns, you clap or you do this. And he said, okay, no problem. So everybody is doing all the seva throughout the day. And Hanumanji was sitting right in front of Ramji looking at his face. Now, day went by, night came. Everybody says, ki ab jao, ho gaya. Now you also go home. Hanumanji said, no, I can't go home. Because I do not know when he'll yawn. So I have to be seated right in front of him. Just in case he yawns, I'll have to clap or I'll have to do this. And if I miss it, then that is the only seva I have. And I'm never going to miss it. So I'm going to sit right here in your room facing Ramji. Now Ramji was trying to sleep, he couldn't. Ma Sita was feeling uncomfortable. Then Ramji called Hanumanji. He said, come here. You go up and you sit. I promise I will not yawn till you are in front of me. And I promise that you will not miss your seva. The promise is made. Hanumanji went up and he sat. Now he was sitting. He had nothing to do. Unlike us, he did not pick up the phone or anything. He did not switch on the news. Kuch nahi. He started singing bhajans because that is what he did. Every time he had the Lord in his mind and he started singing bhajans. When he started singing the Ram name, he got so carried away, he started clapping. He started singing, he started jumping, and suddenly down there what happened was Ramji's mouth opened. Khula ka khula reh gaya. And everybody got petrified. They thought, what has happened? So all the mantris, all the Veds, everybody was coming and trying to figure out what had happened to Ramji. Nobody could. And then Ramji indicated. With his mouth open, he just indicated. It had been very long. So they realized that Hanumanji is upstairs and Ramji is indicating. He call him. Hanumanji was called. The clapping stopped. Hanumanji came down. And then what happened? The mouth closed. And the beauty of the story is that here in this Ramayana they are saying we are the puppets in the Lord's hands. So is our tongue and what comes out of it. But the Lord became a puppet in Hanumanji's hands. He decided whenever Hanumanji would clap, he would yawn. Because that is the power of devotion. And the minute the clapping stopped, the yawning stopped. The power of controlling the Lord, only a devotee has. And Hanumanji smiled, Ramji smiled. Everybody backed off and they gave all the sevas back to Hanumanji, saying there is no other devotee greater than you. It is not the Lord who controls, it is you who control the Lord. And this is a great thing. Can we be those kind of devotees? Has Ma Parvati become one of those? Because when she started as Ma Sati, she was testing. Now she had surrendered. She wanted to know more. Is it possible to surrender without knowing? Yes, it is. That is what she has done. And that is And there is another story now. Sri Krishna was looking for a bansuri, right? He wanted to make a bansuri. He went around and a bamboo shoot offered to be the bansuri. He started, scraping the bamboo, emptying it. It was very painful. The bamboo cried. Finally, Sri Krishna made holes in it, and that bansuri always stays with Sri Krishna. And when he plays it, what comes out is his music. So probably it works both ways, It is a partnership. And after a point, there is no difference between the sadhak and the sadhyay. The sadhak, the sadhyay, and the sadhana become one. The devotee, the Lord, and the sadhana which he is doing are nothing but one. And that is the depiction, that is what Shiv and Parvati are. They are the sadhana, the sadhak, and the sadhyay. The devotee, the devotion, devotee, the God, and the path all in one. And then both the stories apply, right? So Parvati Ma is ready. She is saying she was very happy. She is in Kailash with Shivji. She is no different from Shivji, right? In Nirvan Shatakam, we realized what Shiv is in the last session. And she has everything with her. What is it? She has the company of Lord Shiv. In today's world, when we talk about Sukh, we say, Pehla Sukh Nirogi Kaya, where we are free from illness, right? Dusra Sukh Ghar mein ho Maya, right? Whether we accept it or not, we can say, no, money is not important. It is. Maya zaruri hai. Tisra Sukh Sulakshna Nari or Nar. Your partner is of good character. Chautha Sukh Putra Agyakari. Your children respect and listen to you. Pachwa Sukh, many might refute it, but Desh mein vasa, when you have a good life in your own country. And then there is Chhata Sukh, Raj mein pasa, where you have a say in the working of the ministry, or you have a say in greater things that are shaping the country. But all these sukhs put together, if you have all this, but you don't have santosh, contentment, what will happen? You have all these six, but in spite of that, there is no santosh. What Ma Parvati had was, she was in Kailash. From the palace, she went to where Shivji was. What she had was not all this. She had santosh. Most important, she had santosh. And when you are contented with what you have, that is when you can seek the higher. In distress, when we seek the Lord, it is to get us out of distress. But when we are contented and then we seek the Lord, we seek to know Him and to love Him and not to get anything from Him. So she is very santoshi. And she goes to Shivji. Shivji is sitting. He has taken the asan under the banyan tree. And she goes and sits on his left. And she says that I remember as Sati, I had questioned you a lot, right? I wanted to understand. And I was not sure as to why you were worshipping Ramji. But now my questioning has a different reason. I have the desire to know more about my Lord. So could you please sit and tell me? Shivji was very happy. Very happy. Come to think of it, Shivji and Parvati ji are a role model of how Grihast ashram should be, where the husband and wife walk together on the path of virtue. One pushes the other towards the divine, towards knowing your Satchit Anand Swarup. So both of them are sitting. The charcha is Hari Charcha. Just imagine. And she sits down and she clearly tells him that I think I am a Supatra. I don't know. Right? But as again Bharadwaj Rishi said, now Shivji is again going to repeat the same thing. Okay, whatever I am going to tell you is going to dance out of my mouth through the grace of the Lord. Nothing is my knowledge. But now that you have asked, let me answer, and it's very joyous. What has Ma asked? Oh blissful Lord, if you are pleased with me, Know me to be your faithful servant, and please disperse my ignorance. Now the questions which she is asking are very important. Why should he, who has his abode, who has that wish-yielding tree, क्या कहते हैं उसको? जासु भवन सुर तरु तर होई. In his house is the wish-yielding tree. Then why has he taken birth? And he has to undergo so much of suffering. And he has taken birth in this world of wants. Sahi ki daridra janit dukh soi. Why? First question. When he is there in his abode, there is this wish-yielding tree. He has everything. Why would he come to earth? And in this world of daridya. What is daridya? How would we put the word daridya? Where we are always wanting something. We are never contented. Isn't it true? We are always daridra. We are always daridra hai bichara. We are poor in a way. We are never satisfied with what we have. We are always looking at the journey forward. We are never contented. Why would Lord want to go and be born in this kind of a world? First question. And then she says, tell me one thing, O Lord. Sages who discourse on the supreme reality speak of Ram as the Brahm, that supreme power, one supreme power we talk about, right? And they say that Ram is Parabrahm. Now, again he is asking, now, but Parabrahm has no beginning and no end, right? He has always been there, but Ram has been born. So, how can he be equated to Parabrahm, right? How can he be equated to Parabrahm? Then, O Lord, the sages who discourse on the supreme reality speak of Ram as Brahm, who has no beginning, no end. And so many Veds and Purans, they sing his glory. So tell me one thing, is this Ram the same as the Parabrahm? Again, he says, all sing praises of Lord Raghu. You too, when you go to Kashi, he whispers Ram, Nam, in the ears of the people who come and he gives them moksha, right? So you too worship the same Ram. Is he so divine? Is he the same? कहते हैं राम सो अवध नृपति सुत सोई की अज अगुन alkha gatis koi. Is he the same? Who is unborn, unqualified, who is not perceptible by our brain? Now she's asking the same question. That time also she had a doubt. Now she is wanting to know. There is a difference in the way of questioning. See, we might say, I did not say anything, but your tone of voice can indicate a lot of things. Right? Whether you are doubting, you are testing, or you are devotedly wanting to know. So with this tone, she is asking. So these questions. And she's saying again, if he is the king, king's son, how could he be Brahm, the infinite? Again, the same question. And if he were Brahm, how could his mind get unhinged by the loss of his wife? Right? If he is Brahm, then how could he get so unhappy, so dejected when his wife disappeared? Again, when I see his acts on one hand and hear his glory on the other, my mind gets utterly confused. And that is the truth with all of us. Whether we accept it or not, we do get confused. His Maya is such, his Leela is such. And some of us want to know, some of us deny, some of us don't bother. But over here, she wants to get to the end of it. And these questions she is asking. And again she says, if you think this is my folly, I'm sorry, but I want to know. And then again she says, Jo anehi vyapak bimu koi kahu bijai naat mohe soi. Again she's saying, if my Lord, there is any other desireless, all-pervading, all-powerful Brahm, instruct me. Suppose Ram is not the one, and if there is somebody else, please tell me about him. Right? See, some people say Ram is that, Parabrahm. But if there is somebody else, some other Parabrahm, then you tell me about that. Right? And again she says, she says, don't get angry. but I really want to know. And she says, I've witnessed Sri Ram's glory. When I was there, I went as Sita. He took multiple forms. I saw it. I witnessed his glory. But this question still remains in my mind. Think about it. We are going a little slow because today there are some concepts which we have to hold on to, because based on those concepts is the entire Ramayana. And then she says, you instruct me then in ways more than one, yet I did not understand. Even that time you told me, I did not understand because I was not a Supatra. I was not like the empty flute which is in Sri Krishna's hand, through which his music plays. I was not that Ganga which is free from mud. Now my doubts, the veils have settled down. I am receptive. See, if we are not receptive, no matter what is being told, will not go in. But when we are receptive, even one word will speak volumes. So she is saying, at that time also you told me. You tried to explain to me, but I was not receptive. Now I am. I am ready. Again, then she says, do not allow this thought to anger you. I have no such delusion now. What is delusion? Again and again she'll talk about delusion. We'll explain delusion in a while. Then she says, I have developed in me a taste for hearing the story of Sri Ram. See, we have to develop the taste. When we say, this food, I don't like this food because I have not developed this taste. I have not had it since the very beginning. Avocado, I don't have the taste for avocado. Right? Or tofu, probably, I don't have the developed taste. So, Prabhu Bhakti के लिए भी taste develop होना पड़ता है. इतना आसानी से नहीं होता. इसी के लिए we say, from the very beginning, introduce it to the children. Because later on, yes, if it has to happen and they have done the sadhana in their previous birth, maybe samay pakega. But the taste, if it is not developed, it is very difficult to develop it at the age of 60 or 70 or 80. When we say, no, right now is the not the time to listen to scriptures. Because the taste has not been developed. So when do we develop the taste? From the very beginning. We start feeding the children, right? From the very beginning. At that time only the taste has to be developed. So she is saying, I have developed in me a taste for hearing the story of Sri Ram. Abhi tak, that is why the scriptures did not start. You know what? The scriptures clearly tell me that don't hand me over to a person who does not know my value. And always remember, PhD is not for all. So they wait, they test. And then when they feel, okay, probably the Shrota is ready, that is when they start opening themselves. And they take a long time. Bhagavad took 9 skans. And now they have also taken so much time to enter. And maybe they won't enter yet. Again they are going to say, wait, let me see who's Supatra and who's not. Because the scriptures say, never hand me over to somebody who does not respect me. So they said that I am ready. I am ready to take the knowledge. Please give it to me. And then she asks more questions. She says, I want to know. Now I ask you with a heart sore of distress, be gracious enough to narrate the story of Lord of Raghus. First tell me, again she says, first tell me, after a mature thought, what makes the unqualified Brahm assume a qualified form? Now this is really bothering her. That Sakar and Nirakar, वो निराकार साकार क्यों हो जाता है? और साकार and निराकार में, is there a difference? Or are they the same? And she has asked this thrice already. And we also might wonder, कि साकार and निराकार, निर्गुण निराकार, सगुण साकार, are they the same or are they different? Spirituality is also a study, if we can make it a study also. So are they different or they are same? When does Niragun, Nirakar become Sagun, Sakar? How? When? So she is really asking this question again and again. First question. First tell me, after a mature thought, what makes the unqualified Brahm assume a qualified form? Right? नेति 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 ये भी नहीं है, ये भी नहीं है, ये भी नहीं है, ये भी नहीं है, वो भी है, वो भी है, वो भी है, वो भी है. And he becomes a qualified form कि ये राम है, ये इनका पुत्र है, इनकी पत्नी है, अयोध्या में रहते हैं. Why and how? Then my Lord, after you have cleared this, first you do that for me. Because that is very important. Unless and until I am able to see that Nirgun Nirakar in that Sagun Sakar Ram, the entire Ramayana will be of no use to me. Mark again and again till we can see that Nirgun Nirakar in that Sagun Sakar Ram, the Ramayan's teaching will be a waste. I will not understand it. So first of all, clear that doubt, clear that delusion. Then she goes on and she says, then my Lord, after that, you tell me the story of Sri Ram's descent, then tell me about his childhood, then after that tell me about his wedding, then after that you tell me about how he denounced the kingdom and went to the jungle, he destroyed the demons, then you tell me about what he did in the forest, how he killed Ravan, and after that tell me about his coronation, and finally tell me, after all his Leela, how did he and all his disciples, all his Raghukul, all his lineage went to Vaikuntha. But before that, tell me how Nirgun Nirakar becomes Sagun Sakar. Clear that delusion first. A little boring, I'm sorry, but this is how it is. And before that, let's again link it. Hanuman, over here, we started with two stories. How Hanumanji showed us he has control over the Lord. And over here, we saw that Bansuri was emptied and only the music of the Lord played. And then we said there is a point in time when the sadhak and the sadhyay and the sadhana becomes one. And that is where Ma Parvati has reached. So, she is at that stage where she can say ki haan, Prabhu aap aisa karo. And when Prabhu can, say ki nahi tum aisa karo. There is no difference anymore. And then she moves on with all these questions. And why am I saying this? All these questions are the dance of Ma Saraswati. Everything is coming out for the greater good so that all of us are cleared of this delusion. Then again, when such questions were asked, Shivji felt so happy. See, when a devotee gets another devotee who is the Supatra, clear of all that, and they can actually talk at the same wavelength about their divine, it is ecstasy. And he went into a state of ecstasy. He sat in meditation for hours. He could not open his mouth. His eyes were overflowing to see Parvati's questions. And he said that you have asked these questions for the greater good. It is not that you do not know anything. This is also your Leela. Ma Saraswati is dancing on your tip to convey to everybody the secrets of the Lord. Many a time, due to the lack of knowledge, we confuse the real with the unreal. And the common example that our scriptures give is the rope and the snake. We must have all heard it. In the dark, when we are just walking, when the light is not that clear, and we pass by and see a rope, we'll run the other way thinking it is a snake. Right? And when there is light, we go to the same place again, and what will we see? A rope. Right? Then there is another example of the pole and the ghost. Right? When you walk in, what do you see? A ghost standing there, right? With a shadow coming. It is dark. You get scared. You go to the house. In the morning when you come, when there is broad daylight, what do you see? Oh, it was not a ghost. It was a pole. Right? And that time, the fear that was in us vanishes. Because that is a pole. It is not a ghost. That is a rope. It is not a snake. And after that, we become fearless. In our day-to-day life also, we are mixing the real with the unreal. What is real? God is real. That divine Parabrahm is real. What is unreal? All this vistar that we see all around us is unreal. How do we define what is real and what is unreal? That which is ever changing is not real. That which remains constant is real. When we look at ourselves also, don't we feel that a while back I was a young girl, 5 years old, playing. Ma Parvati was a little girl. Then she grew up. She was a teenager. She grew up a little more. What happened to her? She became a, adult, got married. She aged, she had children. Then she became old. And after all, kya hua? What is this transition? So the body is changing. The thoughts are changing. The mind is changing. We once used to long for toys. We don't anymore. Right? Now, when we grow up a little more, we long for something else. After that, when we grow up, our desires and wants become different. So this is also changing. So our thought is changing. Our body is changing. There is one thing which is not changing. What is that? The observer. Who knows that we were small? Who knows that we became teenagers? Who knows that I am older now? Who knows that my wants are changing? Who knows? Who? Ask. Who is that changeless within me who is noticing this change that is happening? That is real. But that which is changing constantly is not real. And how do we realize? Our journey is to find out that real. And there is a superimposition on everything. A simple example. A movie hall, there is this curtain, right? And the projection throws, and then we can see all the movies happening, and they are flicks. They're connected to each other, right? And we see that happening, and we watch. And when the movie is over, what remains? Everything goes. The screen remains, right? Everything was happening on the screen. It was projected on the screen. Now, after a while, another movie will be projected on the screen. After a while, another movie will be projected on the screen. So, in that projection, what is real? At that time, the screen remains. Everything else is just a projection. We are the observer. We are the screen. Everything else that is happening, which is changing, is a projection. Again, what we see in the world and what another person sees in the world is very different. The same thing, same observation. We'll explain it with a simple example to show how limited we know and how much we do not know. There were a lot of blind people, right? So now they wanted to experience and wanted to know what an elephant is. So they said, okay, come, we'll take you to the zoo. And there is this tame elephant. You can all touch and feel and figure out how does the elephant look. So they all went, and so different people, one reached the trunk, the other reached the tail, the other reached the leg, the other reached the body, right? And they are trying to feel and figure out, because they don't have eyes, right? They are trying to feel and figure out how does the elephant look. And one person reached the trunk. So the trunk is okay. This is how the trunk is. It is like a huge, it is curved also. Okay. Then one person reached the tail. Oh, it is like a rope. It is like a rope. Then the other person reached the body. He touches it and says, oh, okay, this is like a wall, right? And the other person goes towards the legs. And oh, okay, this is like a trunk. It's like a trunk. Okay, this is the horn. Now the other blind person is just at the horn. So okay, it is shiny. It is like a bent portion, very shiny. Okay, this is how an elephant looks. Now after they had done this work, they went, and then somebody went to the ear. Okay, it is like a fan. An elephant is like a fan. Saying all this, they went back and they sat in a circle to discuss. They started discussing. So one man says, the elephant looks like a fan, because he was the one who had touched the ears. The other said, oh, no. He is like a rope. It is like a rope, because he was near the tail. The other one says, no, it is exactly like a tree trunk. I'm telling you so. Again, no. The other one says, no, it is just like a wall, a rough wall. My God, they started arguing. They started discussing, so much so that they got so agitated and angry that they started fighting with each other. So goes the story. But then suddenly, after a lot of heated discussion and they're fighting, a lot of noise, one person came running and he said, stop. What are you doing? And they explained to him. Now this was the blind person and this one had vision. So, oh, no, he said. He cleared the doubt. He said the elephant is all of this put together. His ears are like a fan, his tail is like a rope, its legs are like trunks, and his body is like the wall, and so on and so forth. Then the blind people understood. It's okay. Fine, we understand. What was cleared? The delusion was cleared. Because they had only that much of an understanding. Right? So, when we are talking about real and unreal, our understanding is also very limited. So, what we consider real, like the rope and the snake, when we see, our ignorance is driven away, we realize what is and what is not. That which is ever changing is not real. That which is constant is real. And in this world, what is always constant? That observer, the spectator, me. I have not changed at all. It is a little, we'll learn more about it, slow and steady, we'll go on. So she is saying, okay, tell me one thing. I want this delusion. What is real? What is not real? She's again and again asking this question. Then he says, then expound, my Lord, the truth in realization of which enlightened sage remain absorbed, and thereafter discuss the detail, the conception of devotion, jnana and knowledge of the formless absolute, vigyan and knowledge of the qualified divinity, and without form and dispassion. Over and above, O Lord, of the purest understanding, reveal to me the many other mysteries connected with Ram. And if there be anything which I have omitted to ask, do not keep it back. Please tell me that also. Because my understanding is only this much. So I have asked you these questions. If you know something better, you know something more, kindly tell me so. Now, so many questions, so many things she wants to know. And she is again and again saying, I want you to take away my delusion. Now let's go again back one step. Delusion. When we look at the pot, okay, we took two examples so far. Rope and the elephant story, and we talked about the pole. Now cup. Let's take one more example. The cup or a bangle. Okay. Now the cup is made of clay. Right? The pot. Okay. Now this is the pot. It is made of clay. Think of it. Is the pot real? Is the pot? Yes, it is there, right? It is there. You'll say, yes, I can see it. It is there. Right? But suppose I say, no, this is only clay. This is not pot. This is not a pot. This is only gold. This is not a bangle. Is that right also? Right? Yes or no? Now, if the pot is real, you're saying, but I'll say the clay is more real because the clay was always there. Before the pot was made, the clay was there, and after the pot is destroyed, the clay will remain. So I would say the clay is more real than the pot. Right? Now, this clay takes various forms. You can shape it into a glass, you can shape it into a plate, you can shape it into various things, but at the bottom of it, it is clay. Right? I'm sorry, today we have to clear a little bit of these concepts and then we'll move on. So now, after this, we take gold. Now, bangle is there, earrings are there. What is it? Those are earrings, those are bangles. You'll say, yes, they are. But at the bottom of it, it is all gold. Isn't it? So, what is more real? You'll say, both are. No. But the underlying element in them, in the pot, it is clay. In the gold bangles and the gold jewelry, it is gold. If we take away the form, what will remain? From the very beginning, what is always there is gold. So what is more real? Think. Gold, isn't it? So that which is the underlying element in everything is Parabrahm, is the real, is the unchanging, is what we are moving towards, is that Nirgun Nirakar which takes a Sagun Sakar form. But underlying that is always that Nirgun Nirakar. And what happened, if we really look at the depth of it, we all have that Nirgun Nirakar in us, right? But different forms have been taken, right? And then comes the duality, and we see so many. But then when we start questioning, below this, what is that one that remains? Again, let's take one more example. We see through our eyes, right? We feel through our senses, right? We are all there. But what happens when suddenly we collapse? Our eyes are there, our senses are there, but there is something that is not there, due to which we say this is a dead body. He cannot see, he cannot feel, he is... But then we'll say all the senses, all the karmendriyas, the gyan indriyas, everything is there. The indriyas are there, but what is missing? What is missing? That is the real thing. Suppose that is not there, we'll have the eye is intact, right? If there's no damage over here, but the person cannot see anymore. He cannot get up and feel. What is that one thing which is seeing through the eyes? This is my eye. I see through this. This is my mind. I am thinking so and so. What do we say? This is I the I, or we say this is my I, right? My thoughts. I am the thought? No, my thoughts. What is it that is owning up to everything? And when that is not there anymore, everything stops. And that changeless is what we want to find out. What Ma Parvati is again and again saying, take away my delusion. I want to know what is. And through Ram Katha, you're going to tell me that. What is? And this Ram Krishna Paramhans. Now, what was his? Not Ram Krishna Paramhans, I'm forgetting the name of the sage. He got realization through only this question. What is real? What is real? What is real? Fine, and keep digging in. Okay, beyond the clay, is there something? Now, if you look at the wood, you'll say, no, this is solid, this exists. This is there. Okay, underlying the table, the wood is there. Is the wood there? There are a lot of atoms through it. And our hand, is it also real? When we hit it, we can feel it is real. But then there are atoms, there is a lot of space. When this negative and that negative collides, then there is friction. How real is this? How real is this? Again, think. So Ma Parvati right now is asking a very deep question. And Shivji is so amazed, and she wants to know all this through the Ram Katha. Due to lack of knowledge about Sri Ram, even the unreal passes for real. Just as ignorance about a rope leads us to mistake it for a snake, even so, the moment we know him, the world of matter vanishes, just as the delusion of a dream disappears as soon as we wake up. When we are sleeping, we talked about 4 avasthas in the previous classes, right? It was sleeping, waking, deep sleep, and turiya. When we are sleeping, do we know that we are dreaming? There is something in us that knows, right? But there are certain dreams which are so vivid, like Raja Janak had that dream when he had become the pauper and he could not get anything, he was a beggar, nobody was giving anything to him. And suddenly when he woke up, he said it was so real. Till I was sleeping, I felt that was my reality. Now I am awake, I know this is my reality. He says, what is real? So when we are asleep, we do not know what is real, what is not. So again she is saying, once we know Ram, once we know the truth, once we know, again, why again and again I'm bringing, sometimes what happens is, we'll take Ram and say he is the truth. But over here, Tulsi Baba has very clearly said, Nirgun, Niragar, Sagun, Sakar, Wohi Nirgun, Nirakar, that Parabrahm becomes Ram, and that Ram is that Parabrahm. We should not fight over a form. We have to go deeper and understand. Our scriptures don't fight over forms. And we get stuck on forms. And that is the problem. So again and again she's saying, once we understand what Ram is, the delusion will vanish. We will know what is real, what is not real. And she goes on. So again he's saying, explain this to me. By blessing of Ram or Parvati, not even in dreams can grief, infatuation or doubt or error enter your mind, so far as I can judge. But you have asked these questions for the greater good. But still yet you have expressed the same old doubt again, so that all those who repeat or hear this account may be benefited thereby. The ear of those who have never heard the story of Sri Ram are no better than, and he goes on. So he's saying, you are asking, the story of Ram is the lovely clap of hand palms which scares away the birds of doubt. With this, he says, you have asked a very beautiful question. Again, there is no difference between the qualified divinity and the unqualified Brahm. So declare the sages and men of wisdom, the Veds and the Purans. That which is attributeless and formless is born, becomes qualified under the influence of the devotee's love. कहते हैं ना कि निराकार साकार हो जाते हैं भक्तों के आंगन में, and we have heard many such stories when we say that even the Murti which was in front started talking. Meera entered the Murti, and then we feel, how is it possible? Anything is possible. We feel that the floor that we are walking on, the earth that we are walking on, is very solid, isn't it? When we are walking on the road, we feel we are so satisfied that this is solid. This won't break. This is very, very strong. But when an earthquake happens and you see the ripples come, then you realize that this was my delusion. It is on lots of molten liquid and on this, and it can also, there are plates which are moving, and what I consider as solid and strong is not. That earthquake is needed for your delusion to go away and say, no. Even that solid road is not solid. So here he is saying, that same delusion, you need that experience, you need to understand, and then you will realize that everything else is Maya, only Ram is the reality. He who is universally known as the Spirit, the font of light, manifest in all forms, and is the Lord of life as well as of matter. The jewel of Raghuline is my master. So saying so, Shiv bowed his head to him. Shivji is saying कि वो मेरे भी गुरु हैं. He is my master also. आदि अंत को उजासु न पावा, मति अनुमानी निगम अस गावा, बिनु पद चाली सुनहि बिनु काना, कर बिनु कर्म करहि बिनु vidhi nana. Now again the description of the Lord is so beautiful. I'm sorry because there's no other way to explain this but to read it out today. He walks without feet, hears without ears, performs action of various kinds even without hands. He enjoys all taste without a mouth, and is a most clever speaker even though devoid of speech. He touches without a body, sees without eyes, catches all orders even without a nose, and his ways are thus supernatural in every respect. His glory is beyond description. He's saying, कहते हैं ना, and this is a very famous verse. कहते हैं, आदि अनंत को जासु न पावा, मति अनुमानी निगम अस गावा, बिनु पद चाली सुने बिनु काना, कर बिनु कर्म करे बिनु vidhi nana. How is it possible to understand him? So over here he's saying, you have given me a very difficult task. Now you want me to clear all the delusions. You want me to explain what Ram is. It is very difficult because my senses are not able to catch him. Now Shivji is saying this to Ma Parvati, this is how he works. So when we are using our intellect, we will not be able to understand him. If we want to understand, we might be the most intelligent people, but we will not be able to understand him if we use our mind. What is needed then? Devotion. Try not to understand him. Try just to love him. Agar aap intellect is... See, he is beyond the intellect. He is beyond our imagination. There are certain frequencies which we can catch. There are certain frequencies which we cannot catch through our ears. There are certain visions which we can see, but there are certain which we cannot see. Our senses are also limited. Do you think we can see everything and hear everything? The dog hears better than us. He can catch a lot of frequencies that we cannot catch. The colors we see. Some see black and white, some see colored. So it is so difficult with your senses. And even intellect is included in that. If you want to understand him using your brain, it will never happen. So let go of this for a while. When we are in Ram Katha, let's let go of our intelligence for a while. आप बोलोगे कि आप तो बोलते हो विवेकी होना चाहिए. यस, विवेकी होना चाहिए. पर जब प्रभु को पढ़ना है, प्रभु को समझना है, तो don't use the measures of this world to understand him. You won't. With all these examples, we said, no, you'll say, no, this is real. We said, no, this is not real. You say, this happens. We said, no, this is not happening. When we are living in a desert, we see a mirage, right? And we feel that there is water, there is water, there is water. And we are so convinced because our eye sees it. But when we go near, we see it is not. It seems real, but it is not. So again, she's asking, it is so difficult to understand. Can you please help me understand the Lord? And he says, he is not possible to understand with your senses, with your mind. Please keep it aside and then we can go forward. Because she wants to know, why would he take avatar? Why would he come? He has a choice not to be born into this birth, right? This earth is known as the Mrityu Lok. It is full of agony. You know, you have this thirst all the time. Very few are able to quench this thirst of desires. Why would he, who has a choice, come down? Very valid question. And this is asked in the Gita also. And he answers that too. In the Gita later on, he does. But over here, then she says, when I behold any creature dying in the holy Kashi, Shivji says, I go and whisper the name of Sri Ram. The power of the name is so much that I go and whisper the name Sri Ram. If men repeat his name even in the helpless state, sins committed by them in series of previous existence are burnt away. Is it possible? Then we say no. Karma hai. So we are liable. We have to face whatever we have done. As we sow, so shall we reap. Is it possible to burn it? Last class we discussed it is. It is possible to burn it. So he says, by his name, he's so powerful. You do not need to understand him. Just love him. Take his name. कहते हैं ना कलयुग में नाम आधार सुमिर सुमिर नर उतरे ही पार. And there's this beautiful story in which Narad Muni comes. Sri Ram had come back and he was giving good counsel because in his kingdom there was full joy. There was no agony. There were no beggars. Everything, the council and the way he ran his city and country was so good that a lot of kings came. Narad Muni went to one king and he said, Vishwamitra is sitting over there. Don't bow your heads to him. He said, why? Vishwamitra is Ramji's guru. He is going to curse me. He is short-tempered also. He said, just listen to me. Now Narad Muni is mischievous. He has different ways of teaching and we have seen. He has different ways of giving knowledge. He went. He did not do pranam to Vishwamitra. We'll cut the long story short. Vishwamitra got angry. He said, now you have to destroy this king, kill him by tomorrow evening. I don't want to see him. Ramji said, Tathastu, no problem. And he came running. He said, because of you, Ramji is going to kill me today, Narad Muni. What wrong have I done to you? Narad Muni said, don't get worried. You go to Ma Anjani and seek shelter. And don't tell her the entire thing. He ran to Ma Anjani. She said, please help me. There is a king who is going to kill me tomorrow. Ma Anjani said, don't worry, you have taken shelter, refuge in me. And कहते हैं शरणागति gati par ne. You should never turn a person out if he has come to seek shelter in you. So she said, come in, you sit. My son is Ram Bhakt Hanuman, he'll help you. ठीक है? She came, he sat down. And Hanumanji comes in, he says, Ma, how are you? And she says, I want to ask something from you. He was very happy, Hanumanji. You have never taken anything from me. You have never asked for anything. Tell me, what do you want? Hanumanji said, Ma said, there is this king, you have to save him. There is this king. Another king has predicted to kill him. Now you find out who it is and save him. He said, anything you want. He went in. Now this king refused to give the name. He says, no, I won't let you know who has decided to kill me. He said, if you don't tell me, how would I help you? And finally, after a lot of persistence, he said, Ram. And now this time, Hanumanji started shivering. He said, I am Ram Bhakt Hanuman. I sweared upon him to save you. How will I fight with Ramji? Any which ways, you go. Let me think. Chinta mat karo, mujhe chintan karne do. All of us do chinta. We worry. We don't do chintan. We don't find solutions. We just spend our life worrying. So he said, leave it. Chinta mat karo, mujhe chintan karne do. He goes. In the next day, Hanumanji comes. He takes leave. He says, I have to save a king. Ramji says, I have to kill a king. And that entire story goes like, first he goes with the Ramban. Hanumanji takes a small form and he sits here and he says, just sing the Ram now. Ramji comes, and then it's a beautiful story. It's nice to narrate it to the children, but right now we are short of time, so I'll rush it. And Ramji comes and he says, he's my devotee, how can I kill him? He goes back. Vishwamitra is standing there. He says, don't worry, I'll take a Shakti Ban. He goes again with a Shakti Ban. He starts singing Sita Ram, Sita Ram. He says, now he's Sita Ma's devotee. I can't kill him. He goes back. Now he takes the Pralay Ban. Again, when he takes the Pralay Ban, he starts singing the glories of Sri Hanuman also. Ramji says, this is it, I give up. Hanuman ji ka to devotee I will not touch. And he was about to get down from the horse, put down the bow and arrow, when Vishwamitra comes and he says, stop, I forgive the king. And Hanumanji jumps out, joins his hands and says, I'm really sorry, Sri Ram. But this was needed. And Vishwamitra said, later on in Kalyug, when people would not be able to see you, right? How would they know your glories? This is the entire Leela was done to tell them how powerful your name is. O Ram, you do not have the power that your name has. Right? Ram के नाम में वो बल है जो राम में भी नहीं है. And with this Leela, they depicted that even during Kalyug, when you are not there, your name will be there and it will save everybody. Shivji even now goes and says, Banaras mein Ram, 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 and everybody's ear. That is the power of the name. And that name will burn all the previous karmas, burn all the delusions, burn everything. Don't worry about the concepts, he's saying. Very simply, हम लोग कई बार क्या करते हैं ना, we start using our intellect. What is real, what is not real, rope, and ये ज्ञान है. And ज्ञान comes with a lot of ego. Once we understand it, we say, okay, this is how everything works, I know. So ultimately, after explaining everything to Girija, he said, but let me tell you one thing. You just take the name. नहीं समझ आ रहा? What is real, what is unreal, what is delusion, what is not delusion, what is that projection on the screen you are talking about? All that entire 1 hour you have been muttering things that I really don't understand and they don't interest me. Leave it. And that is the entire objective of today. Pata hai, when we make it too practical, with a lot of concepts, trying to understand the ununderstandable, we feel it is best to run away. मेरे से तो नहीं होगा. Then we say कि ये सब करने के लिए इतना सब समझना पड़ेगा क्या? अब वो पॉट लेके आप बैठ जाओ, and then ये clay है, ये pot है. नहीं होता. अच्छा, there is something beyond my senses. नहीं होता. नहीं होने दो. नहीं समझ आ रहा. समझना भी नहीं है. He says, listen, गिरिजा, delusion जाते जाते जाएगा. समझ आते आते आएगा. Right now, just understand one thing. The name is so powerful that nothing else is needed beyond that. Leave everything aside. Leave the delusion, leave the confusions, leave the doubt. Let me just go into the story of Sri Ram. Now it is your choice. आपको सारे कॉन्सेप्ट समझने हैं या राम को समझना है. Because understanding him is possible. It will become like a study. Point by point we can go on. But there is no end to it. And at the end of it also, the Veds Puran claim, यहाँ पे they have marked. I've lost that page where they say कि even the Veds and the Puran, they say that it is very difficult to understand the illuminator. Again, behind the illumine, क्या है यहाँ? Infatuation, the object of senses and the senses and their presiding deities as well as the jeev. Okay, all these derive their illumination one from the other. That is to say, the objects are illumined by the senses are illumined by their presiding deities, and the deities presiding over the senses get their light by the conscious self. That's self. Okay? The supreme illuminator of them all is the eternal Ram, King of Ayodhya. The world of matter is the object of illumination, while Ram is its illuminator. He is the Lord of Maya, the abode of wisdom and virtues. It is due to his reality that even the unconscious matter appears as real through ignorance. So what is Ram? Ram is the light beyond all this that we see. He sheds light to everything. Right? He is behind everything. तो तुम ऐसा करो, बाकी सब छोड़ दो. अभी हम राम को समझ लेंगे, कोशिश करेंगे. And how we will understand him? Not through these concepts, but through his leelas. This is what this entire section is all about. It is, I was just thinking, whether to just skip it in a minute. But I said no. Let's put in some concepts today. Let's try to convey only one thing. There are various margs, isn't it? ज्ञान मार्ग है, कर्म मार्ग है, योग है. योग में भी अलग अलग है. There are hot योग. People hold their breath, hold everything. They stand for years together. अभी हमारे से बहुत मुश्किल है ये सब करना. So there are various yogs. Then we'll say कि there are नियम है, नियम है, संयम है. So many concepts. So what is he indicating? He said you just become a devotee for now. Try to become a devotee. Just sit down. When Ramji was taking vanvas, he was going. So Lakshman came. He said, मैं भी साथ चलूंगा. To everybody else, he said, no, you stay. He started explaining why Lakshman should stay behind. Lakshman said, मुझे तो कुछ समझ ही नहीं आ रहा. ये जो आप समझा रहे हैं, I don't understand anything. It is pretty boring. I just don't understand. All I understand is you are my mother and I am your infant child who cannot live without you. Just an infant baby. It's very difficult to separate an infant baby from his mother, right? So I am that infant child who does not understand all the gibberish that you have done today. I just know one thing, that I have to be with you. When he said that, all logic, all counsel failed. He said, chalo saath mein. So what is it? Just leave behind all the logic, all the counsel. Maya, Brahm, illusion, delusion, illuminator, sab chodo. Just tell him, see, ये सब नहीं समझ आ रहा. I am a child. I am your दूध पीता बच्चा. And let's walk further with that thought in mind. I am not a ज्ञानी, I am not a सिद्ध. है ना? मुझे ये सब नहीं सुनना है. मुझे ये सब समझना भी नहीं है. मुझे ये सब समझ आता भी नहीं है. I am your devotee. I am your child. And now you take me forward on this journey. Otherwise, बहुत हो गया. बंद करो किताब. मैं तो चला. So again he says, see, बाकी सब छोड़ो. Just remember that if men repeat his name even in the helpless state, sins committed by him in a series of previous existence are burned. So please, सब कुछ छोड़ो. Touch his feet, take his name, and then move forward. Nath धरेयु नर तनु के ही हेतु मोहि समझाओ कहू ब्रश केतु. He's saying, अब now tell me, ठीक है, all this I understand now. नहीं आ रहा समझ, कोई बात नहीं. इतना तो बता दो ना. Why did he take the human form? Can you at least tell me that? Why did he take the human form? And Shivji says, yes. Why does the Lord take the human form? I will continue in the next session. कहते हैं ना, यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य. Why does he take the form? In the same way, say, जब जब होए धर्म की हानि, बढ़हि असुर अधम अभिमानी, करहि अनीति जाए नहीं वरनी, सिद्धि विप्र धेनु सुर धरनी. Then he says, okay, with this we will start. Why does he take avatar? What does he do in this avatar? And what are his leelas? So with this, today's session, which jumped from a lot of things to a lot of things, comes to an end with one simple conclusion. We will move through Ramayana, through Ram Leelas. We'll try to keep these big concepts at bay and see how Ram acts and try to understand it through his eyes. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hanuman, Jai Hanuman, Jai Hanuman.